This is Internal Battle, the #1 podcast for parents who face a child medical diagnosis. Sharing these stories with you will be our host, Nathan Jepson. So today, we've got Cassandre here. She's an amazing single mum who has been going through her own journey, which has been eye-opening and traumatic, but also amazing.
Yes.
Yeah. Can you go through some of what you've been through? Go through your diagnosis and your treatment plan for us.
All right. So last year, my daughter Anusha, at 14-year-old, she was diagnosed with Yolk sac tumor, which is ovarian cancer, stage 3B, so almost stage 4, so almost the stage where there are a lot of metastasis and, very hard to cure. And, the treatment, you want to know about the treatment?
Yes, please, yeah.
So she had to have a surgery to remove her right ovary first, and then just to just to know exactly what it was, because it was a 15 centimeters tumor.
Wow.
So they really had to go through it and see how much of an extent it has, how much damage it has done in her body. And obviously it was cancerous after surgery. And they decided to go on a treatment with bleomycin, etoposide, and cisplatin, with an accelerated bleomycin for 4 cycles, which are heavy chemicals, heavy chemotherapy, and with everything that we know about chemotherapy and all the side effects that can be expected with that. So, yeah.
Yeah, so 4 cycles of chemotherapy. How long is that? How long does that go for?
So for her cycles were 21 days each. It should have been done quite easily, like 4 months and we were done. But the reality is that it's never the way it is written on the paper.
Yeah, lots of complications and
yes,
and then, medical side effects from the medications.
Totally.
Yeah, so you mentioned that your daughter had some complications after surgery. Can you talk to us about that?
Yeah, she had a lot of complications. So after surgery, everything went well. Then 1 week after that, she started chemo. First cycle of chemo was good. So she had to stay for 5 days in a row and have those 3 medicine in hospital. All nausea and common side effects were managed very well. So after 6 days, we could go outside, could be released from hospital. Everything went well. She had 2 other weeks when she would have chemo. Everything went well. And when we started the second cycle of chemo, that's when she started to have a huge pain in the belly, intestine. She was really not feeling good at all. She was starting to vomit and have nausea and could not eat. So they still decided to proceed with the chemotherapy, although she was vomiting, because they thought, maybe it's just, stress. And so we proceed to the 5 days in a row again, but she could not eat anything. And she was just vomiting, not eating. And I was kind of really worried because, you see your child going through this hard time. We know that chemotherapy is really hard on their body. They are tired. They cannot do anything. They don't want to eat. Basically they just sleep. But on top of that, she was just feeling so bad and so sore at the same time. So when the 6th day, it's finished, chemotherapy is finished, and she's still vomiting, and she still has pain.
Damn, that's rough.
And then, the nurse said, okay, now that's not normal. Now it's not chemotherapy. And I'm like, yeah, that's what I've been telling you, but it's okay.
Yeah, one of those mother's intuition moments.
Yeah, mother intuition. But at the same time, you have your mother nutrition, your parent nutrition, but you're not the doctor, you're not the medical team, so you really want to trust them and work alongside with them. So, yeah, it was not normal. And on that day, finally, the surgeon came and said, okay, maybe we should do, how do you say that? Ultrasound. And so they did an ultrasound. Maybe we'll do a scan as well, CT scan, to see and to check. And I'm like, oh, yes, please, because her belly, she's not eating. It was now actually 8 days. She hasn't eaten anything for 8 days. Even drink. She could not even drink water.
Yeah, and did they have her on fluids, like IV?
Yeah.
That was it.
So she was on fluid, which is okay. But I wanted her to drink because it's very important to drink and flush. And so she could not have anything. And her belly was starting to be a little bit swollen. And she's a very thin girl, like very thin. So usually when she lays down, her belly is not even flat. It's more like a curve, So it was not normal, not eating and have your belly swollen like that. I was, that's not on. So finally, after CT scan and ultrasound, they found out that she had a blockage, an obstruction in her intestine. So she had to go to the theater and have another laparotomy, open again her scar, who was already healed at that time. And the surgery, so in emergency, because it was already now a lot of, days. They didn't know how long she could hang on this. So she had, the surgery went really well, maybe one hour.
Yeah.
I was really worried.
Yeah.
Because I didn't sign for that, You sign for all the side effects. Already, you already... It's horrible, actually, to decide to proceed with the chemotherapy treatment, because you know that you are actually choosing... Or you're choosing those medications that can kill your child, but can heal them, or you're not, but in any case, they can die.
Yes, yeah.
So it's just horrible. So yeah, I guess I signed for that, but then I was like, what? I didn't expect. I was expecting that the chemotherapy would be hard, and that she would have nausea and immune system dropping and everything that they told me, but not another surgery in emergency. So it was hard and intense.
And this type of surgery that they're doing for the blockage, is that life-threatening as well?
Yeah. That was life-threatening.
Yeah.
Because if they were waiting too long, she could just have a necrosis. That's how you say it. On her bowel, on her intestine. So anyway, after 1 hour, the surgeon called me, reassured me, said, oh, that was really well. So we found a little obstruction. So the intestine was twisted. So everything is back to normal now. And on a surgical aspect, we can tell that chemotherapy has done a great job, because all the metastases are almost not gone, but disappeared. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, wow, that's great, So finally I was like, okay, that's a good news on top of that. So really grateful for that. Came back in the room. She was good. She woke up good, well. She had a good night after surgery. In the morning, she was asking me, "Oh, Mom, can you sing to me? I'm feeling so well now. I'm good. I wanna eat." So we were rejoicing, and I was like, "Okay, maybe this surgery was for something good." And she even wanted to walk, and the nurses were quite shocked because they were, oh, you just had a major surgery and you're here out and about wanting to walk. And then she was, yeah, I feel so good now. I want to walk. When can I eat? And they were like, oh, we still need to wait a little bit. But you look so fine. I guess maybe tomorrow you will be able to eat. So surgery was on Monday. This was on Tuesday. Wednesday, we had the good news that her boyfriend were visiting her.
Yay.
Yay! Well, she's 14, so yeah. And boyfriend came in town to visit her in hospital, which is beautiful. And I knew that this would be great for her. So they came with his family, spent time together, and suddenly she felt like, Mom, I want to vomit again. I don't feel good. I don't feel nice at all. And I'm like, no, baby girl, it's okay. Maybe it's emotional. Don't worry. You know, I was just trying to avoid any kind of worry or complication again. And then she said, Mom, I just want to vomit. So we had to go back in the room. Boyfriend left, and she started to vomit and vomit and vomit again, and her belly started to swollen again. And I was like, no, that's not possible.
Yeah.
So of course I told the nurses, okay, she was so well and now she's not. And she has eaten on Wednesday. Not a lot, but, like toast and maybe avocado, something like that. Not much that they want to eat. It's a long story.
That's what we're here for. Yeah.
All detailed. And what else? She spent the night really so bad. Like, we didn't sleep at night. She was vomiting. And I was like, that's not normal. And she was vomiting. Then the color of the vomit, you get to be used to.
You're used to knowing what that different things mean.
Yeah, you really know the color. And the color started a little bit yellowish, and then it was deep green, dark green. And I thought, no way, that's not normal and that's not good at all. So in the morning, Thursday morning, I just tell the nurse, okay, please let's do something. Please call the surgeon. They were about to come anyway, but let's do something else, please. Let's do another scan, another ultrasound, do something, because it's not normal and her belly is swollen and I don't understand what's happening right now. So we did another ultrasound. The surgeon was not here. Her surgeon was not here because he had to fly over to London, something like that, because, they are specialists, worldwide specialists. So another surgeon came straight away and she said, this is really not looking good at all. We have identified a perforation in her bowel, so we don't know what it is exactly. But she has a lot of air and liquid all around her belly. I don't know the medical term, but
just around her organs. Yeah,
around her organs. So and basically, like, everything happened. I don't know. I can't remember the track of time, but just everything just happened so suddenly, so fast, and everyone was in panic. I could feel the atmosphere, the tension. The nurses couldn't even look me in the eyes, when usually they are quite bubbly and try to be good. They couldn't look at me in the eyes. I could feel their energy so down, so low. The surgeon had this tone of voice so worried. And I was like, what's happening? Like, tell me, what is it? Is it something that I can, like, what is it? Yeah. Are there chances for her to leave, or what is it? So it was pretty hard. Feeling this energy from the doctors, from the ones who are supposed to take care of your child. And boyfriend was here because
still hanging around.
Yeah, he was around because we told him, on Wednesday night, say, okay, just come back tomorrow, she'll be better and all. So he came back at the time I told him, but when he came, that's exactly when the surgeon said, okay, in 10 minutes, just get ready. In 10 minutes, she's going to the theater. And I'm like, oh, that's soon. And she's like, yeah, that's an emergency, madam. And I'm like, oh, all right, okay. So I had to translate that to my daughter, who doesn't speak English. And I told her, and she's like, what's happening, mom? And I'm like, they will have to open you. And so the surgeon went through all the procedure and everything, that if it goes well, this is what we're going to do. If it goes not so well, this is what we're going to do. And if it's absolutely abnormal, then this is what we will do. But most likely we won't have to do this. So I'm like, okay, they will have to open you another time.
This is the third time?
Yeah, third time.
Wow.
And at that moment, she just freaks out. She cried. She yelled. She's like, no, I don't want them to touch me anymore. No, I don't want that. And I'm like, no, please don't do that. We have to. And
Heartbreaking.
Yeah. We have to do that. And I know, baby girl, I know it's hard, but it's for you. It's for your life. You want to live, right? And she's like, yeah, but I don't care now. I don't want to do anything. And I said, no, please, just, just breathe. It's going to be all right. I'm here. I'm going to pray for you. And everybody's here. And look, boyfriend is here. Ilan. His name is Ilan. Ilan is here. We're going to take you to the theater. It's all right. So I guess the presence of this little boy, this young boy, was a great thing, because the fact that he was here really made her feel safe. And not that I cannot make her feel safe, but when you're a teenager, you just care about your friends. Family is good, but mom is good.
Yeah, it's a different type of connection.
Yeah, different type of connection. So I told this boy, I said, yes, stay with me, stay with her. And please, I know that she will be fine with you. So was okay. Went to the theater and we waited there. So he was able to, make her laugh a little bit and just forget about what she will be going through.
Yep.
But I was so worried. Like, to be honest, I think he made her be more peaceful, but I was so worried. I think it's the first time. Like, I was worried before the first surgery, the second, but that time, like, really, I think that thoughts of losing her really came into my mind.
Yeah.
Because 3 days ago, she just had another surgery with anesthesia and everything. And this time, and I know that you cannot just go through so many surgery like that and your body is good and your heart and all your organs will be okay. Like, it's not normal. You don't do that normally.
Yeah, it takes its toll.
It takes so much time. And the fear of losing her really, really came in my heart at that time. But hey, we had to.
Yeah.
So
the cancer diagnosis, chemo, surgery, second planned surgery, complications on surgery.
Exactly. And at that moment I've been so strong all along, but at that moment I think I just went crazy and I was like, that's not normal, like it's not even the cancer was killing her. It's not anymore this cancer. It's the medication. It's everything else. And I was angry. Yeah. So angry at that. Feeling guilty as well, thinking that maybe I should have not choose the chemo and maybe choose the natural remedies instead. And I don't know, so many things just go in your head.
It's an emotional roller coaster.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Emotional
Physical,
roller coaster.
Yeah, going through all this sort of things, you'd bringing in your child's mortality and making those decisions for them.
Yeah.
You can't explain it.
No, you can't. No, you can't. It's, at some point you finally decide on something, but surgery. I didn't mention that. The first surgery, the very first one, lasts 4 hours. It was very long. they told me, 2.5 hours. So I was freaking out. Second surgery lasts 1 hour, but this one lasts 5 hours and a half.
Your heart would have been pumping through your chest.
My heart, I was so desperate. I was running, not running, but I was walking like a zombie in the hospital. I went to the adult hospital nearby just to, I don't know, just to walk, do something.
Yeah.
Got myself chai latte just to keep warm. Then came back. There is a prayer room here at Westmead, just in front of Camperdown.
Yep.
I went there, tried to kneel and pray, but I was not feeling it. So got outside, start to, I don't know, walk in the children area downstairs, then came back inside, went back in my room at Ronald McDonald, and then I thought, I cannot be in that room by myself. I cannot. And if they contact me, I need to be there in Todman recovery, waiting for her to be awake. I don't know. This was the 5.5 hours, the longest in my life. I was trying to call people, call my parents who are in France with my son as well, but nobody would answer. Tried to contact my family back home, but nobody would answer. And I was like, no way. Like I was alone, like really dealing with, and the boyfriend, I told the boyfriend to go because I didn't want him to be worrying. I didn't know what to tell him either. I didn't want to talk to him.
Yeah, I know how that feels.
Yeah, because, I would have went on topic that he would not appreciate from me. So I wanted to leave him alone.
Yeah.
Like, do you really love my daughter?
Oh, you would have been that badass father coming along doing the talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So no, it was just horrible. And finally, and I was crying. I was crying, bursting tears. Like, I think I've never been crying like that. I've been so tough, so strong, wanting to be very strong for her and for me as well. But at that moment, I was just crying and pleading and praying, like, I don't know if I've done something wrong in my life. I just forgive me, God, for everything, and please grant her life. And so I went to wait at the Todman recovery, where I saw many other parents feeling the same way as I was feeling, I remember there was a father. When he saw me, he turned his head, and I could hear him crying as well. I just wanted to go and tell him something, and then I thought, no, I don't know what to say because I'm actually feeling the same. So, yeah. And finally, the surgeon came, and she said, all right, surgery was really hard, very difficult. And you remember what I told you, the three option that we had? We did the last one because we had to search and search. We didn't find the perforation, and we had to clean everything, and we had to make sure that there was not another perforation. And then we had to, there was an inflammation as well, so we had to open her, and she has now a stoma, so basically her bowel is outside, and she's just doing her thing in that little
in the colostomy bag.
Yeah, colostomy bag. Yeah. So
just throw another thing on top.
Yeah, that's it. Just I was like, okay. So, and I remembered her telling me it's more likely that we won't have to go through that, but hey,
here we are.
Yeah. So, but at least she was alive. So that's all that counted for me at that time.
Yeah.
And I entered the recovery space, and I was not reassured at all. When I saw her face, she was blue, and she was not good at all. And I could hear. No, I could not hear. I could see the face of the anesthetist, the chief anesthetist. He was talking to the nurses on the side, and I could see his face. Like, it was a struggle for him. And he said to them, this was tough. I don't know if we could have managed more time. And I'm like, oh my life, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So all her like magnesium level, all the minerals level dropped, all the vitamin, everything just dropped. Her oxygen dropped, her heartbeat dropped, everything dropped. She was not good at all, and that's. Oh. I could feel, and seeing even the how intense it was on the surgical team and on the anesthetics team, really add another level to this, to the gravity of the situation. But I just stayed there, and she could not talk. She was suffering so much. So I saw the colostomy bag. I cried because she already had scars, already have one ovary removed. With all the questions for the future that we can ask for that, And on top of that, she has this colostomy bag, and she's 14. And she's very conscious about her body. She's a teenager. Went back to Camperdown like that. We had a horrible night. She was on morphine, but she was just scratching everywhere. It was itchy everywhere. She had fever. She could not breathe. Her saturation was low. Oh, we didn't sleep at all. Not at all.
Yeah, on top of everything, emotional-wise, then you comes into sleep deprivation and exhaustion.
Yeah, and she had fever, and she was also, I think, because of the morphine, and there was another, can't remember the name, fentanyl, maybe, something like that, another medication, painkiller. She had hallucination, so.
Oh, that could have been fun.
Yeah, and she was like, I don't know how you say that.
It was shaking.
Yeah. like having mini convulsion.
Oh, wow.
And I was, oh, no, I don't want to lose her. So I didn't sleep. I didn't want to lose her on there because I know post-surgery you can have complications as well.
Yeah.
So on this Friday morning, I woke up. I woke up kind of because I didn't sleep, but I remember telling the nurse, is it all right if today I don't fold my bed? And if you can just write on the door that we don't want any visitor to come, anybody, no volunteer, nobody. I just want to be here and grieve and allow myself to cry because I haven't cried. And now I feel like all I want to do is just cry because I'm sad and I'm suffering. And it's the first time I've acknowledged the way that I was feeling.
Yeah.
And she was suffering too, obviously. And she was so, how to say that? On edge. She was talking to me so badly. Like I was like, okay, darling, what can I do to help you? And she was like, I don't, just do that. And just, no, I don't want that. Or can't you just listen to what I say? And I was like, hey, I'm here to help you. I'm not like, you don't talk to me like I'm a dog because I'm not. And even a dog, you talk better than that to a dog. So please mind your speech to me. I'm your mother and I love you. And I'm not here to hear those kind of things. And she's like, can't you see that I'm suffering? Can't you see that I have a cancer? Can't you see that I'm just having all of this and I'm having a meltdown and I don't even know why? And I was like, oh, it just broke my heart.
Yeah, you feel like you're going mad a little bit.
Yeah, and then I went mad and I was like, but can't you see that I'm your mother and I'm seeing my daughter like that, and what affects you affects me. You are my baby. I can feel your suffering and I suffer too. So please don't think you're alone in this. I'm with you. Everything you feel, I feel it. Yeah. So we had this argument and I told her, if you keep on talking to me like that, I'm just going to drop everything and you deal by yourself with your thing and I'm just out of it. And And she looked at me and cried and said, "No, Mama, don't do that." I said, "So you stop talking to me like that, because I'm suffering so much. You cannot even imagine how much I'm suffering to see you like that. So stop. I need love too. I'm doing everything to love you. We are doing everything to help you. But please, stop talking to me like that. I don't want to go through that. I need your love. I need us to be a team. I don't want us to fight, you know." So she cried. And she told me, "Mom, please come here. I need your cuddle. I need your hugs. I need you. I don't know how to express myself because I don't even know what's going on with me. I don't understand what's happening. I don't even understand why I have this cancer. I don't want to have this cancer." And I said, "Yeah, I know, darling. That's why we're here, to just kick this bad guy out of your body." And then she told me, she opened herself to me. I think that was a very raw and real moment, a very intimate moment when she opened everything. She said, "Mom, I just feel like you're here sometimes, but we don't talk. And I feel like I cannot open myself to you because I don't want you to suffer." And I said, "Yeah, but what you don't understand, that if you don't tell me, I'll suffer as well.
Yeah.
Let's just suffer together. Let's just share."
Yeah.
Because if each one of us just suffer in their own corner, there's no point.
And you know what? Coming together like that, it boosts that morale, and and within children themselves, their resilience is above anything else.
Oh, it's above and beyond what I could expect. So that was a very hard moment, but very much needed. And we spent the day sleeping and crying. That's all we did.
Yeah, and the nurses respected the, please leave us alone for a little bit.
Yes, they did. Oh, and
they are amazing, aren't
amazing. That's very amazing. So grateful for that. They really, I don't know, it was really a time of grief for us. So they really respected. And things... Well, she recovered slowly, was very slowly, could not eat, was very frustrated because she could not eat, but she could just suck ice, sucking ice.
Yeah. win for the win for the team.
So can you imagine? So she haven't eaten for 8 days, then had to go through surgery, then ate just one toast, something like that. In 3 days, then another surgery, and then couldn't eat for 6 more days. So,
it's half a month.
Yeah. So that's like...
On top of having surgery and then the vomiting as well.
On top of chemo, on top of everything. So she was on... I can't remember how they call this. All those bags with food.
Yeah, the glucose and the fluids.
Yeah,
and
everything. Fluids.
And what is it? The gastric tube with all the...
Yeah.
Protein shake that they give the kids.
Yeah. So everything, an IV. And she lost 5 kg. And she's very tiny, like very I don't know, very thin. So losing 5 kilos for her is too much. So on top of that, we had the nutrition team coming. Like, we've seen that you've lost a lot of weight and that you lack all the minerals. Are you eating well? And I'm like, are you kidding me? Can't you just read the report and see that she has not been eating for half a month?
Yeah.
And they're like, but now our concern is that you might suffer from anorexia and don't want to eat anymore. And I'm like, oh no, please don't tell me this, And so they were trying to put a plan in place for her to eat, but she wouldn't eat. She could not. Like, obviously her stomach was very tiny at that time, plus the chemotherapy, which makes them... the food they used to love is disgusting to the taste now.
It changes everything. Changes their appetite.
Everything.
The way that they like their flavors, the things that they, textures that they like, they don't like. Yeah.
Exactly. Sometimes she would feel like eating something, and then by the smell of it, she would just be like, "Oh, no, I don't want to eat anything." So, it was hard. So yeah, we had to stay an extra 5 weeks in hospital after that for her to gain weight. So we did the third cycle of chemo. And at that time, she was so resilient. I don't know how she did that. It's amazing. It's crazy because at that time I was going mad. I was going insane, being in the room all the time. And that's the thing, being by yourself in a different country. Like, it's not my country. I don't have home here. I don't have a car. I don't have anything. And I was by myself. And I wouldn't let her because she doesn't speak English. She didn't want me to leave her for 1 second. It was just crazy. Sometimes I was just pretending that I had to do washing machine. But I told her, okay, I need to do washing machine. I'm coming back very shortly. But I had to pretend that to just go outside and breathe fresh air and just have my own time. And I love her, but
love you, Nisha. Yeah, if you're listening.
Love you, baby.
Yes.
So no, I love her, but no, I needed my time. So this was really, really hard. And because of this nutritional aspect, they wanted her to stay in hospital to make sure that she gained weight before releasing us. And I was like, she's going to be fine with me. Don't worry. I'm going to cook. No worries. I love cooking. It's okay. I know what she likes. Oh, no, but we really need to have a track. And I was so mad. They kept her 1 week more because of that. And she wouldn't put on weight. Of course, you don't put on weight just like that.
Yeah.
So... one day I had to call the doctor and tell her, listen to me now. If you don't let my daughter out of hospital, because obviously now the cycle 3 is finished and it's okay. She's recovered. She's doing poos on her back. Everything is all right. If you don't release her now, you're going to have to do something about me, because now I'm starting to get sick and this is mental illness that I'm starting to have. So if you don't do something, like, I'm not going to be able to take care of her, and she only have me, and she doesn't speak English, so I'm the only one you can contact. So now do something.
Yeah.
I'm being crazy.
Yeah, well, it drives you insane. Like,
drives you insane.
Yeah, you're there for the purpose, and you've got those, the doctors in the hospital have their protocols and everything they have to do, and they're doing all their safety checks, and it's. And like you said before, it's the best place for you to be, but being in that little room with everything that's going on, emotionally, physically, sleep exhaustion, like all of that stuff, it can just drown you.
Oh, it was so draining. And, well, it's not bad on we were sharing a room at that time because, when she went through the surgery, we had a single room, which was great. But then we moved to another room. We were sharing with a little girl. The thing is that, oh my goodness, the little girl was 6, and it's not bad on her, but it's just that 6, and she was watching her Peppa Pig thing until midnight and playing and screaming and all. Like, my daughter just wanted to sleep, and she was like, Mom, I can't. I said, no, but I know, but that's it. You just have to bear with it. That's all we can do. So it's very difficult, the age difference. Even for me, I don't have any young children anymore. So I'm not used anymore to noise and everything like that.
Yeah, you gotten used to not listening to the cries while you go to sleep.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, it was challenging on top of that, especially for her. For me, it's okay, but it was for her. She needed that quiet time, really. So, on top of everything, it was hard. And it was so cold in the room as well. Oh, wow. The coldness and not being able to open the doors. Oh, that's just insane. That's horrible. Not being able to breathe fresh air. Because, they have to stay in a room for medication and all, but really the natural remedies are the best, that can help recovery. So yeah, that's a little bit of the challenge. She had other challenges as well 3 months later. So I think this was in September. And after that, everything went quite well, although she was still vomiting a little bit here and there sometimes. Couldn't absorb too much water at the same time. Couldn't eat too much as well at the same time. So she had to do little meals here and there. Otherwise, she would vomit all the time. And in November or December, can't remember the date exactly. Here we go again, another blockage. And I remember we were so good, so fine. She was about to start because of all of that, everything was postponed. And the cycle were postponed.
Yeah, the treatment plan changes.
Everything changes. And we had COVID.
Oh, yes, that's right.
So I was the one really sick. She didn't feel nothing, but still we were in isolation. So yeah, yay.
It's almost like a little bit of relief though, because you're in isolation. You get your own room again. It's like,
true.
You don't have to listen to all the other nurses and all the other children and all the beeping. It's just
exactly.
My child.
Although the beeping, because we were not in Camperdown, the beeping we were in another ward. I will not mention the ward, but the beeping was ongoing every night. And I was, oh wow, that's crazy. But that's the way it is.
Just tells you about the health system, and we got all these kids and that in the hospitals. It's just you don't really realize.
No, you don't.
Until you go through it yourself.
Oh, totally. It's sleepless nights have another level of meaning, So I had COVID. We're in isolation. Then got out of the hospital. Treatment was postponed. Then she slowly recovered. Everything was okay. And another pain in the belly. Right before the day, the doctor said, okay, we will have to go through another cycle because everything was postponed. Obviously, 4 cycle was not enough at that time. So she said, the specialist said, no, we have to go to another cycle, Anusha. And she was, oh, no, that's devastating. And she said, I know it's hard, but you have to. So I think that she was she felt so anxious about having another cycle that something happened in her belly, in her stomach or intestine or whatever. And she might have created another blockage. I don't know what happened. But so back to the same, vomiting green, dark green, pain in the lower belly. And at that point, I think, your brain mechanism of protection. I just yell at her and I was like, no way, no, you're not going to have another surgery. I'm telling you, you're not going to have another surgery. You must heal. And we went to the emergency and same stuff. Yep. Surgeon came, did ultrasound, scan, CT scan, X-ray. Oh, there is a small blockage, blah, blah, blah. Have to go to another surgery. So, that's it. We had to. Yeah. I didn't want. And I didn't mention, but all along I was just praying and praying and praying all the time that she would never have to go to another surgery anymore. But, and she went through that surgery. That last 2 hours and a half. I was anxious as usual. But in the end, the surgeon told me, which I appreciate. I appreciate when the surgeon call you, like in person. It's not a team member, but the surgeon. Yeah. He told me, okay, we found some scar tissues that were blocking intestine. So we removed that. And we send this to analysis to see if there are some cancerous cells inside. But she should be fine now. And that was the cause of all her vomiting. Mm-hmm. So, it was a relief to know. Yeah. And everything went well since she was able to drink, she was able to eat, she was able to live.
That relief as well for both you and her.
Yeah. And I think that surgery, although I didn't want it, it was so necessary to really take away these scar tissues that were so big. So, at that time I was grateful. Yeah. And at that time I think it's Christmas.
Oh, Christmas time, yeah. When I had COVID.
Yes. Oh, really? So, for me, that Christmas, that was our gift.
Yeah.
You know, that, okay, now she's good. And she finally did her her 5th cycle of chemo, completed it in 3 weeks, and stopped in early January. And that's it. That's all for the complication.
Yeah.
Big part, right?
Yeah, massive. Yeah, and it wasn't a part of the plan.
It
was
wasn't.
Something that happened.
No, the plan was 4 cycles. In November we're out.
Yeah.
And
you mentioned before, when you went for your walk to try and clear your head, and you went to the prayer room, but you just didn't feel it.
Yeah.
You mentioned that you were religious, so that you were praying for obviously no surgery, but also probably to get rid of this chemo. Like, come on, we're here for you. How did that, did your faith get rocked during this process?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It was like my faith, because I'm a very religious person, and I was working. I didn't mention here, but I was working as boarding director in a Christian school, looking after the spirituality of young girls from age to 18, from 11 to 18. So looking after them physically, of course, nurturing, but also the spiritual aspect of it. And really, in those moments, I was like, okay, now, everything that you're teaching your girls, apply it. Walk by faith, not by sight, Yeah. And also a big part of surrendering, because when we pray, it's more about listening than asking. Because we ask, like in prayer, I was asking and asking, and we want a certain outcome out of prayer, but really the prayer is more about receiving the peace and the strength to go through what you have to go through, and keeping your hope that the outcome, the desired outcome will be, but really you never know, and have to trust and walk in the dark.
Yeah.
So it was tested, like 100%. But now I can say that my faith has grown stronger, like really. And even hers.
Yeah, and you walked out the other side, and she rang the bell this year as well.
Yes. In February.
Yeah.
On the 21st of February. Yeah, she rang the bell.
What an amazing day.
Oh my goodness. I think that this is the most relieving day of my life. Oh wow. I never, we've seen 3 children ringing the bell when we were at the clinic and in Camperdown, and each time I could feel in my heart like happy tears, and at the same time this feeling of, when it's going to be us, it's going to be us one day. When, please be soon. So you're rejoicing for the child, you're rejoicing for the family, but you're just thinking, when? And when that day arrives, I cannot express. It's like every sound of the bell just echoes in your heart, in all your body, and all your journey just ring and come back to life. And then you realize, man, we did it, wow. Wow. Like at that time you realize, oh my goodness, we can be proud of us. Like, my goodness. And I really identify myself in it. Like, really, the parents, we are a huge part of this journey as well. Like, it's the victory for our child, but it's a victory for us too. I think I even cried more than her.
Mixture of happy tears, sad tears.
Oh yeah, too. Everything.
Sleep exhaustion tears, everything coming out.
Everything. You really see your journey, like everything. I could see everything coming in my, as I was ringing the bell. I think we rang the bell 3rd or 4th times because, I don't know, the sound of it was beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, I can just imagine. I've heard it a few times, but from a distance in the clinic.
I guess, yeah. How do you feel about it?
It's almost like a wave of like just relief and the story and the journey's done like that. It's like 1 bang and it's just kind of like it wakes you up, and then 2 bang and it's like starting to clear and everything's out, and then 3 bang it's just kind of like it's almost like silence. Yeah. That's exactly like almost pure joy of silence, and it's not even for my kid or for me; it's for someone else. And it's like, I feel that. Yeah, I can't wait for it to be us. Oh, like I can't wait for Ollie to run up and just. Yeah, I can just see him. He'd be like, he might do like that one hesitant one, and then I feel like he's just gonna bang the hell out of it.
Of course he will. Of course, you have. I think that's what she did, like a hesitant one, and then realizing. Just went all in, you know, just ring that bell. Yeah, and she's
more than deserving to ring that bell as well.
Yeah, that's true. So I can't wait for you guys to ring that bell too. Thank you. Oh yes, you deserve it too.
Yeah, can't wait.
It will come.
Yeah. So the other things that I want to kind of talk about was, what kind of advice would you give other parents who are going through this journey, or obviously just about to go through this journey?
Okay, so I have a lot of advice.
Obviously, we've spoken about your emotional and your physical journeys that you've gone through, the ups and the downs. So they can take a bit of take a little bit from there and that. But what are some of the things that you think are like the most outstanding things that you would actually pass on to someone else?
Well, I have written. I think I'm going to go through the list.
Yeah.
Because All right. So the advice I would give would be first to accept the diagnosis and don't beat yourself up. Like really accept, because there's nothing you can do about it. That's here. For the story, I remember myself when we didn't know the diagnosis. But when I knew that she had 15 centimeter tumor,
wow, that's massive.
Yeah, that's massive. The word cancer just came in my brain, and I was pleading God, tearing, please don't rebuke this cancer. No, I don't want to believe that. Please, I spent the night crying and praying. No, but really, I guess why this word was popping in my head it was to prepare me, to face this cancer. So actually when they said it, I was prepared and I could accept it. And I was like, okay, it's here. There's nothing I can do. I can just now hope and rely on the experts and the expertise of the doctors, because they are doctors. And that's actually what I told the specialist. I said, you know what? At the end of the day, you're the doctor, you're the specialist, you've dedicated your life to that. I'm just the mother. So I have to trust you. And I have to trust that what you're doing is for the best of my daughter. That's all. Yep. And don't beat yourself up, because there is nothing you can reverse. There is nothing that you have done that made it be like that. That's all. It was a hard part, because I was trying. I don't know for you, but I was trying to figure out why. What did I do? What did I not do?
Yeah.
What did I mess up in everything,
Yeah. With Oliver's cancer, it's non-genetic, so it's just quite literally some cells in his head just decided to flip and go cancer. So it's just heartbreaking.
It's heartbreaking.
Yeah. Even for the people who may have hereditary issues and stuff like that, it's still it's just as heartbreaking.
Yeah, that's it.
There's no control over it.
No.
And there's a lot of I read a lot of things like the past is a past, and the future is a future, and the present is a gift, and you've got to live in the present, and to think about it, the present is all we really have, because the past is memories, the future is hopes, and right now in this second is the only time we actually have any influence over anything.
Correct.
And there's nothing you can do about it. Doesn't
No.
as soon as they find the tumor or find the issue and they give you the diagnosis, there's still nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, nothing. That's it. That's why accepting is being present, and the past has nothing to do with it anymore. We cannot go there anymore. We cannot dwell there. Should have, could have, nah.
Yeah, it's all gone. It's in the past.
Yeah, exactly.
You can either, I love Lion King, and it's in the past. It's one of those Rafiki sayings. You can either learn from it, or you can either run from it, or you can learn from it.
Yeah.
And obviously, being normal parents, and we're not doctors, we don't really have that understanding. But all we can do is be there for our kids.
Exactly.
That's literally all we can do. So the doctors are the experts. They're going to do their side of things. We're the parents. We're going to do our side of things.
Yeah, that's true. And as you said, exactly right. Like, all we have to do is be there for our kids and be there in the present. And dwelling in the past would not help nor us, nor ourselves, nor the team as well, and nor the child. Because the child, at that moment, we have to be the solid rock on which they can rest, because they don't really understand what's happening to them.
Yeah.
They're full of tears and the fears, and if they see that their parents are freaking out even more, oh my goodness, it's terrific for them. Terrifying, sorry, not terrific. So accept, don't beat yourself up, prepare for the greatest battle of your life, mentally, spiritually, and physically.
And you've said all that.
Yeah. That's it. Prepare. Then prepare your child as well, and equip them to face this battle like a conqueror. Like, really talk to your child. I know it can be hard to talk to a 2-year-old child or a 5-year-old child, but you need to talk to your child with your own parents' loving words, because they need to understand what they are going through. They need to know, and they need to be equipped as well. And they need to know that they are the main actor of this, and they need to decide to live, actually. Sounds hard, but it is the way it is. We need to prepare them, because we can do everything, but really it's their journey.
Yeah, exactly.
Their battle. They have to combat this, and the best way to win a fight is to prepare. You can see on the ring. I've done martial art before, so I know.
So have I, yeah.
You have to be prepared. That's all. So you prepare your child by talking to them. That's all.
Yeah, and I found positive sort of affirmation sort of things.
Yeah.
You're a soldier. You're strong. You're full of courage.
Yeah.
You're
Boosting
resilient.
its confidence.
Those sort of things, and just having those small conversations with them morning and night. And even having getting them to draw something, and then a picture, and it's mum and dad or whatever, or the family, and then having them write, courage or strength, and just those one word sort of affirmations, so they can hang them and have them there. Or
yes, totally.
Yeah.
I think that's a big part of the work, because it's mental toughness. You have to be strong mentally, because everything goes from the mental. So, yeah, prepare them to be conqueror. Have faith. Yeah, have faith. I mean, I have faith in God, in Jesus. Have faith, have faith in, I don't know what you believe in, but have faith. Always don't lose hope. That's very important. And focus on the victory. That's it. It's when you do sports or when you run or whatever, you don't focus on others. You don't focus on the little roadblock. You focus on, I want the victory. I want to cross that line. You just focus on it. That's it.
Yeah.
So you avoid distractions. You avoid distraction. Don't listen to people.
And I feel like it's even to the point where celebrate the smallest of victories.
Oh,
where they get up and they don't ask for help to go to the toilet, and they go to the toilet on their own, and it's man,
that's,
you give them a high five,
Oh, that's true. Exactly. Every little step, when they would get out of bed or even eat or drink, I'll be cheering on her, oh yes, I'm so.
You want one
great.
blueberry for breakfast? Go for it.
Yeah,
yes,
that's it.
You've got a blueberry in your life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Every little wins count. Then Accept that the path to perfect healing and restoration is an invisible and long process. It's
And sometimes unattainable.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's you have to accept that, and it's invisible. So sometimes you cannot see anything, but something is happening inside the body, and that's when the faith and the trust has to come to step up, and accept that yes, we cannot control, we cannot see, we don't know, we cannot go inside the body, and even the doctors cannot. I mean, there is a certain extent.
Yeah. Well, as for us, like through the first couple of months of treatment and chemo, the tumor was still growing. And it was like, a scary moment. And they're just like, radiation was supposed to start in round 2. They just pushed it forward to halfway through round 1 because they were like, this is not supposed to happen. This is not supposed to happen. We need to do something about this. So they told us, we're going to bring out the big guns. So they're going to bring out radiation and move it forward and hit him with the radiation. And hopefully that'll stop the tumor in its tracks, which it did. The tumor stopped growing. But we weren't seeing any decrease in cancerous activity. So like, it was wavering us. We were scared. We were freaking out.
Yeah.
And then kind of like in your situation where you had a couple of planned surgeries and then a couple of unplanned ones and then other things that happen and then an extra cycle and it's so much.
That's it. But and that's it. That's invisible. We cannot see. We just can see what's wrong actually.
Yeah.
Because what's going well, it's sometimes untouchable, what else? Trust. Always, I'm all about trust and faith. So trust that doctors and surgeon and medical care, teams know the treatments and procedures and they have expertise. And it's very important to team up with them and not be against them. Because, it's a hard job that they have. And they are just human as well. They can do mistakes. And teaming up with them really make things easier for you. For us parents and for them. It's like when you go to the hairdresser. You trust the hairdresser to cut your hair the right way. If you don't trust them, they will be like, oh, I don't know, I'm not too sure,
But again, the hairdresser will always ask you, like, oh, what do you like? How do you do it?
Exactly.
And then you give them a little hint, and then they work their skills and their experience to do that. And
that's it. And I think that's the same with the surgeon and all. They always talk, and I really appreciated that. They always talk, and they gave us choices. Sometimes I would rather not choose, but yeah. It's important to team up with them and express to them your frustration as well, but in a kind manner, like as much as you can, because sometimes I know the emotional roller coaster is here, but still they are humans as much as we are. Believe. Always believe with all your heart that healing is happening, even when it doesn't seem like it does. Yeah, going back to what I just mentioned before. Rebuke every bad energies that is around. Like, this is so important. For me, this is key. If you feel there is a bad energy somewhere, just rebuke it or just demand that people have a positive attitude around you and your child. Because you don't want that. You don't want bad energy. You don't want bad thoughts. You don't want bad words to be pronounced. You don't want this kind of spell, like people putting spell on, like, you don't know. Just get away.
Away with you.
Bye,
Yeah.
Like, don't be ashamed to cut off people. It's not that you don't like them. It's just that you protect your family. You protect your child. You protect yourself, your inner peace. People can sometimes people have a good will and they want to help and want to talk, and sometimes they're just saying silly things, and you don't need to hear that. You don't need to listen and to have those words coming inside of your thoughts.
And we all know it. We all talk about it when we're younger, how powerful words are, and we don't really fully comprehend how much they affect us until we kind of come to grips with our own sort of mental state and health. I found that that even some people that had good intentions, they said things the wrong way, and some people that had bad intentions said things differently or the right way, and it's hard to navigate that. But you're right. So it's easy enough just to give it a flick. Just say, look,
Oh, yeah. I don't
that's
want to hear
enough.
that. Yeah.
I don't need that. And when they're going through this sort of treatment and going and taking all the medications every day and they're under all the chemo and the radiation that they have to go through, I found that on the good days, they started out with, positive, like a nurse came in and it was breakfast time and they had a good chat and they had a giggle and, we're playing games, or like I'd play a game of chess, or we'd play a game on his Switch together.
Yeah.
And we'd have that little bit of a bond moment and he'd have a better day.
Yes.
And then some other days you'd wake up and, that another parent was grumpy, or, there was an alarm that went off and the nurses were in a grumpy mood, like all those sort of things. And then it's the same exact day, like the same food intake, the same meds, the same chemo, and then Ollie would have a horrible day. And it's so effective.
Yeah,
the things that are around. Yeah.
Oh, totally. Like the energy, like it's real. It's a real thing. The energy around and how much like everyone's energy. Oh no.
We're getting too deep now.
Yeah, it's too deep. But you get the point.
Yes.
So if something seems to be, when you remember when I told you when she had to go through this unexpected horrible surgery emergency, I could feel in the atmosphere that was so heavy. I don't want to experience that, and I don't want any parents to have to experience that. Like, really lively up, medical team. Trust in what you're doing, Sometimes that's it. Like for me, I look at it in like, okay, you know what you're doing. Trust in what you're doing. Please tell me that it's good and my child's going to live, or just hide yourself. But don't show me your face like that, and don't show this bad energy, because I'm worrying and I don't want to worry.
Yeah. You worry, your child worries.
Exactly. So, yeah. I mean, we are allowed to worry. But maybe find a space to isolate yourself and feel all your feelings, and breathe. I don't know, do something that you have to do, breathe or pray like me, and then come back empty of that feeling bad energy, full of good energy.
Yes.
Okay. Another advice: breathe fresh air. Exercise to keep yourself healthy, because, we're here for our children's health, so we should keep ourselves healthy as well. That's very important. We don't want anything to happen to us while they are going through that. So we need to be careful and look after our mental health, and take time to rest as much as we can. I know it's so hard. It's so difficult because we have long sleepless nights. For me, as a single woman by myself, it was really hard, but I could try to manage sometimes. For you, I know with your little family and the little ones, must be hard too,
Yeah, all jam-packed into the room at Ronald's. Yeah.
So I guess every family is different, every case is different, but it's very important to make time for yourself as a parent. And I guess when you're married as well, make time for you too.
Yes.
To come together, to, at least, because you're going through this, your parents and all, but you're still human as well, and you're married, and you need that time for you as a couple. Yeah. So, I don't know that, but I think you need that.
Oh, you definitely do. Yeah, you definitely do. Yeah. Time for yourself, get your own head on your right shoulders, and and time for each other to still be a couple, but then time to be parents.
Exactly.
It's
the foundation and
and you can't really plan it out. Like, you don't give yourself 10%, and your wife 20%, and your kids 70%. Like, it's an equal balance.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. There's always less time for yourself and less time for each other, but you still got to try and make that effort.
Yeah, you have to make that effort. So it's hard, but it's not impossible.
That's right.
Yeah. Good to communicate. Allow yourself to grieve and cry too, alone or with your partner, because it's very important. So as I was just saying, feel all your feels and just move on. But it's very important not to suppress any emotion, because it gets worse after.
Yeah.
Communicate your needs, your fears, and facts about your child, because you know your child and you know what they need. So don't be scared to communicate that to the medical team, because 100% of the time you're right. That's it. You know your child.
Yeah.
They know their job, but you know your child and communicate. That's so important. Even if you don't know how to speak the language, just do something. I know there are a lot of foreigners here as well, and people who don't even speak English. I'm very blessed to speak English as a French-speaking person. But yeah, always try to communicate as much as possible. And even if you have to repeat 100 times, just repeat 100 times until somebody hears it. That's very important. Yeah, just practice kindness for yourself. And just, remind the child, I've went through that. Oh, and smile. Yeah, smile. Smile to strangers, smile to your child, smile to other parents as well.
Yeah.
And share with them, because they do need love too, and they do need encouragement, and they do need to feel like they are not alone, and there is also hope. Because if you're walking around with your face like you are at the funeral, you're not spreading positive energy. And I know it's hard, because sometimes you really want to have that face, because what you're feeling inside is horrible. But we have to force ourselves to be happy. It seems like nonsense when I say it like that, but we have to try to rejoice as much as we can for the little things.
Human nature is interesting, but we all do better as a unit, as a congregation of people, a community.
Yeah.
There's a lot of introvert sort of people, but they still have a support network of other people that they use, and these days, computers and technology, but they still have family members and friends that they use as support network. But I like what you said, smile to strangers and kind of almost force the happiness, even if it is a little bit fake, because it's amazing how not addictive. It's amazing how attractive a smile is, or contagious. Sorry, contagious. Is what I'm thinking of.
Exactly.
Something we did with Ollie was we put him in costumes to go over to chemo and stuff, and trying to celebrate, being creative and weird and fun and whatnot. And he went over as Where's Wally and Pikachu, and people would walk past and smile and giggle and give him a high five, and that would boost him up as well.
That's
and who knows what their day's going about, or what they're going through, the nurses, the doctors, other parents, and for a second they smile and laugh and they have that brightness and that little bit of hope and joy, and
it shifts the atmosphere.
And it really does have such a powerful effect.
And it shifts what you feel inside as well. That's it. Like, a smile is free, And as you said, sometimes maybe you have to fake it until you make it. But that's okay. Just so that's those are my little advice and encouragement.
Yes,
those are more encouragement and tips, maybe.
Learning from your experience.
Learning from my experience.
That's what this channel is all about. That's what I want to promote, and get everyone together, and we rely on each other. We can get through this together. Exactly,
we can, and there's no shame of sharing about it. Like, honestly, I mean, if we could, not having to go through that,
of course.
But we had to, and this is a part of our life and our journey on this earth, and that's it. And I believe that we need to share the experience and share the testimony and everything that can be positive around it. We need to share it, because not everything is bad.
Yes.
In bad situation and horrible tragedy and challenges like that, not everything is bad.
What they say, nighttime, the darkness and the fear and everything that's scary, there's always stars on the moon. There's always that little bit of light.
Exactly.
A couple of last things that I wanted to talk about were, some of the impacts of the support systems that you had access to and that you utilized. Some things that the information you can pass on to people.
So obviously Ronald McDonald House is a structure that I am so grateful for. First of all, we are recording in their locals right now. So wow, that's amazing, right?
Thanks, guys.
So there is everything. You feel home. And as I mentioned before, I'm not from here. I'm from another country, and we've been jet lagged, just like that.
You're from two different countries. You were from New Caledonia,
Yeah.
and then you were living in New Zealand at the time.
Living in New Zealand. So
Yeah.
we were just jet lagged, left everything behind and came here. And there is this structure with volunteers. With volunteers, man. That's something. Like,
They're
they
amazing,
are
aren't they?
not even paid for what they are doing, but they are still doing it out of their heart. And that's something to celebrate. And, that's the first thing that crossed my mind when we arrived here. We dropped our cases, and I was like, wow, this gives me hope in the world. Media are spreading a lot of bad things, but there are still some genuine, kind people in this earth that are here to help just freely. To make our lives better. Because at that very moment, you can do nothing. You don't know what to do.
Yeah.
You have your bills to pay, and you're thinking about what can I do, and rent, and wow, my money, bank account, job, everything just comes through your mind. You don't know, and what to eat as well, But then you have this place, the cost is nothing compared to what you will have to go through when you just move in a new country like that, not knowing anything.
Yeah. Not having anybody, no
not
one
having
to kind
anybody.
of lean on, or
Yeah.
can I come stay at your place for a couple of weeks or months?
Oh, yeah, that's horrible. I
Yeah.
hate that.
Yeah.
I hate depending on people as well. So here was a safe place where I could, like you can be, gives you dignity. You don't have to ask for help. It comes to you.
Yeah.
And it's organized for you, and others, of course, but it's organized. So, yeah, dignity. It's something as human we need. You're able to eat, and you open the cupboard, and you have everything to eat. I mean, it's not great gastronomy, but come on, Wow.
It takes that stress out of everything.
Of course it does. 3 times a week, people, they are what? Sponsors?
Yeah, sponsor companies come in
Sponsor
and they'll
company.
cook a meal.
Yeah, come in, cook a meal for us. My goodness, that's amazing. That's amazing. That's awesome. I don't know how we could have done without this organization. Like, this is the best. And Red Kite as well. Red Kite, who gave me a phone card. I mean, it's nothing when you look at it, but it's everything. If you don't have a phone card, a SIM card, a number, or data, you can do nothing.
Yeah.
It's the world we are living in. That's it. And always checking on us if we needed something to eat. Always checking in the room as well if Anusha was needing anything. Like, this is just amazing to see that there are some organization like that. It's mind-blowing for me, especially coming from a small island like New Caledonia, French island, and not to be bad about the French government, but there's a little lack, in those areas.
Well, each country has their own issues. But.
And and Make-A-Wish. But also I wanted to mention an amazing support that I had. I mentioned the girls in the dorms back in the college I was working. Amazing. Those young girls. So I was looking after 26 young girls. They would message me all the time and telling me, "Miss, we are praying for you and Anusha." And I'm getting emotional.
It's beautiful.
That's the most beautiful thing. And if what we have had to go through have impacted their life in a beautiful way, well, I'm happy then. Yeah.
There can always be some form of happiness that comes out of this time of grief and sadness. And
exactly. And some people in New Zealand and New Caledonia who raised a GoFundMe as well. That was something.
Yeah.
As I mentioned, I didn't want to ask for help, but they did it without me asking, and that's beautiful. Because I lost my job and I'm single. I mean, I lost. I had to quit my job.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, you don't lose your job. Yeah.
No, I had to quit my job and resign, and this was very stressful. But we made it.
Yeah.
because of the generosity of people. So I'm so grateful for that.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
What does the future hold for you guys?
What's the future hold? Oh, well.
What's the next step of your journey now that you've
wow.
now that you've rung that bell and you know, obviously there's an immense amount of side effects and all those ongoing sort of things that they've got to look at and check up and whatnot. But
we have checkup now for 5 years. I mean, it's the usual thing. We just came back here in Australia for to remove the stoma. So this is removed. Everything's closed. She has a normal belly now with scars that testify of the journey.
Yeah.
Really, for myself, I'm working online now because I really saw the importance of being present with my children, with my child, but with my children. So I'm at that stage now. I have other projects and plans. I have to gather my mind. I have to gather my thoughts together now. Now that this surgery is done and I can celebrate, now I have to plan. But it's true, my life has been on hold for a few months. Less than 1 year. It's nothing, but it's a lot.
It sure is.
Because of everything we had to go through. I would love to go to see my son in France because this has also shifted everything around. I want to be with my children as much as I can. And although he's turning 18, she's turning 15, they are grown, but I want to be able to be together. Yeah. And he has his dreams and he's pursuing his dream, which is great. But, you know, I want to be able at least to travel and see him very often, more often than I was doing before.
Good.
So, it's just family.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you for coming on the show.
Well, thank you so much for inviting me and for letting me share this story.
Beautiful. You did a post on Facebook about having gratitude for the country and your journey that you've been on, and
totally.
Giving you my gratitude for sharing your story.
Oh, thank you so much. And I'm grateful from this country. Really, both of my children have been granted the chance of life. My son, when he was 2 months old, with his open heart surgery. And my daughter last year. So, I'm in awe of Australia. I love Australia. I have a special connection with Australia.
Love it. Okay, so that's a wrap on Cassandra's internal battle experience with her beautiful daughter Anusha's cancer journey. I hope you were touched by what this amazing family has endured and the story that you've just been told. There will be a follow-up episode on faith, love and family regarding Cassandra and her family settling in back home in New Caledonia. I would like to thank you for listening, and I hope you have a wonderfully blessed day. Bye for now. If you would like to hear more stories like Cassandra's and to support the channel of Internal Battle, please subscribe to the channel, download the episodes. Or you could simply head over to our website, www.internalbattle.com. That's www.internalbattle.com, and follow along to support.